Many of us think money is evil. I'm telling you right now that if you don't understand that money is power, you will be limited in your approach. Let me explain. My name is Tarab. I make videos about emotional intelligence every day. My mission is to convince you to use the power that you have accumulated in your years to do good in the world. I have conversations with many amazing people consistently about money. The reason being, it's something that I believe we need to get more educated about as a society. It tends to be the most important thing for people's well-being when certainties aren't laid out, when life hasn't been strategized, when we are not taught the right things when we grow up. And I consistently have these conversations and I think to myself, why is it that no one is prioritizing perhaps the most essential part of their education, financial well-being? And I said to myself, okay, fine, let me convince you that money is power. It is said that the person with the gold makes the rules. Sure. Why is that? Because gold, the power to pay people, the power to get services for ourselves, get the capital that we need in order to create things in our life, is essential to any sort of progress. It's also essential in determining for other people how valuable we are. Our ability to get people money, our ability to create situations where exchanges can happen, or networking can happen, more opportunities can get created for money, is our value in society. And many of you watching this might think to yourself, fuck that, there's better things. You're talking about emotional intelligence, why would you talk about money? And many of us, including myself, about a year ago, thought very negatively about the pursuit of becoming wealthy. Mainly because I was ignorant of it. The reality is, if we don't understand something, we are afraid of it. And really, the simple understanding of money requires us to know that value is created by being uniquely gifted at our particular skill set. Meaning, if you are an artist and you are particularly good at doing a specific type of art, you have an innate value to someone that is looking for that skill set. If you are someone that networks and has a large network of people, you might be particularly valuable to someone that is seeking people in life. This value will determine how much people are willing to give you. Whether they're willing to give you opportunities, a seat at the table, or monetary things is up to what you determine is important in your life. Now, the reason that I'm tackling the concept of money, and I'll probably be going into it quite a bit in some of these videos, is because I believe that the leaders in the world, the compassionate among us, tend to avoid thinking about it. And me being someone that wants you to be aware of your emotional intelligence, perhaps your shortcomings, and your strengths, I want you to know that money is not all that complicated. Really, it's simple. The first concept that I'm going to teach you today comes from Grant Cardone. Poor people spend money. Middle class people save money. Rich people invest money, and the wealthy give it away. Now, you may be very aware of the spending issue in your life. You may be very aware of all of those times that you said to yourself, hey, perhaps I shouldn't get that bag of snacks. Perhaps I shouldn't buy that vacation. Perhaps I shouldn't buy that house, whatever it is. Spending is the first thing to tackle. You need to get that under wraps. But we needed to get it under wraps for the right reason. Because spending is very different than what the rich do investing. Because a bag of chips, if seen as an investment, is just bad for your health. Saving money, strange. So if you're saying to yourself that, saying to myself, I'm also saying to you, that spending and saving are apparently still not qualities of rich people. Middle class people save money. What does that mean? We're managers. Middle class are managers, middle management. To manage something is to say, this is what I have, and I must make sure that this works for everything that I need. It is necessarily a mindset that says, this is all I have. Now, the issue with that mindset is when we scope out in the scheme of our lives, the spending, the making that we do, there is an infinite amount of opportunities to actually expand what we have to spend. It's just a matter of using this brain, this powerful tool that we have. And it also comes with the right philosophy. If we believe that money is evil, if we believe that it takes away from our lives in some capacity, we won't go out of our way to get it. Now, that's where the next two philosophies come in, which are so very important, I believe, in connecting the dots and making it so that money in our own mind isn't such an evil thing after all. The rich invest money. Investments, my friend, are everything in life. It is the very concept of delayed gratification. The beautiful part about delayed gratification is that as soon as it starts to kick in, as soon as we get gratified for the first time, oftentimes we've been setting ourselves up for the whole process to get continually gratified, to get continual benefits for our delay. An investment is really for the future. And it also saves us in the present, in the sense that that $10 that many of us think is fine to spend on a daily. Sure, it can be fine. Depends how you look at it. Many of the wealthiest in the world will say that every $10 is a brick in your palace, in your castle, perhaps in that house that you want, or that building that you want. Whatever it is, that $10, when seen as something to be spent, will turn out very differently when it's seen as something to be invested. Investments can be education. So say your self-worth permits you to go and buy a course of some sort. It says to you that with this information, I will be more valuable in society. Through investing perhaps $10 on a book, through investing that same $10 saved up over a period of time, $100 in a course, a mentor, that information will make your life much easier down the line. That's an investment. That's saying to yourself that I'm on a path, and to make that path less rugged, I'm getting myself educated. Arguably, the most valuable thing that you can do in your life. Investing in yourself. Many of us stop doing this after school because we're taught that a job is all we need. The funny part is, all of that money that we make in the job will go to waste if we don't have the education on where and when to spend it. Investments, my friend, are where and when to spend it. Always be looking for opportunities to invest in where you want to go in the future. Now, the real fun in a philosophy, as the investments keep giving to you, is that leap into wealth. What is the concept of wealth? Many of us will associate it with money. Wealth really means an abundance of things. So, and that's two stages away from the middle class, if you think about it, right? Managing, saving money versus there's nothing that's stopping me. Everything is in my capability. Wealth is the mindset I believe makes money much more fun. And the reason is because we can create opportunities for people, create opportunities for ourselves, and in the process, delaying our gratification and getting paid down the line for those contacts, for the networks that we make. Now, I will say this with an asterisk. It is not to say you should be throwing parties and providing people with free drinks and free alcohol and free snacks and food and entertainment without having some sort of intention for it. Right? If it's building deeper connections, so be it. If it's getting the opportunity to talk to someone in a deeper way, to get them loosened up for a certain conversation, so be it. If it's to invest in ourselves, to make it so that we get more information about perhaps the area that we're living in, or perhaps the industry that we're interested in, or perhaps some personal problems that we need to wrestle through. Investments, rather than just throwing a party to get fucked up. Very, very different. And we are giving. There's always the mentality of I am giving the experience to myself and to people around me. We are not islands, my friends. And wealth and power in this world are very much determined by human society. The spiritual aspect of us, the part that splits ourselves from our immediate actions, now that part we wrestle with constantly. Many of us are much better at wrestling with that than the actual physical concept or physical accumulation of wealth. Now, the beautiful part about giving things away is that it also builds into the spiritual karmic cycle that I believe many of us are trying to appease in our life, trying to make it so that constantly there is something in the world that is giving back to us. Now, it might be very hard for the average individual, and I'll say even myself, to give away things that perhaps I want for myself. The reality is, the only way that I'd be willing to give away something that I want for myself is if I know, not feel, not assume, but that I know it will come back to me tenfold, should I pursue giving it with an open heart. That is a philosophy, my friend. And at the end of the day, wealth, these two, investment and wealth, the divide between those two and saving and spending is one of mindset. Really, it is. And it's something that many of us avoid. Many of us are not taught to cultivate. And it's the reason that I'm making this video for you now. If you have questions, please throw them in the comments below. I would love to give you some ideas about your personal journey, about the things perhaps that you're passionate about that can cash flow for you, that can make the life that you want, give you the power that you want over your life. So you don't have to live in a shitty house where your things get stolen, or you don't have to go and ask for funds and feel bad about yourself, but instead you can be someone that offers those funds, that creates those opportunities for your children, for your family, for your loved ones, that creates an abundance for yourself. An essential aspect of living, I believe, a satisfying life. So if you found this interesting, please lightly tap that like button, helps me out a lot. Share it with someone, and perhaps we can get this conversation going a little bit more in society. How easy it is to simply switch little knobs, little switches in our head that will allow us to think about money differently, which will give us infinite amounts of abundance at the end of the day. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. This is a video I made about the concept of money earlier, much, much earlier in my journey. Take care of yourself.